When it comes to superheroes, Superman is right there at the top of the list. He's got super strength, laser vision, the ability to fly, and is almost indestructible. So naturally, studios have been trying to recreate that formula for years. We've seen characters like Connor Kent, Sentry, Omni-Man, and Homelander take pieces of the Superman archetype in completely different directions. Similarly, Dreamworks created Metroman and Megamind, and at first glance, he seems like one of the most obvious Superman clones ever made. But the studio gave him something not many others have experimented with: superhero burnout. So today, let's talk about how Dreamworks perfected a Superman clone. Like the original Superman, Metroman comes from another world. When his planet is in danger, his parents place him in an escape pod and send him to Earth. But while Megamind lands in a prison and is raised by inmates, Metroman lands inside a luxurious home with a loving family who dote on him from the start. So while his origin story may be similar to Superman's, the only difference is that he doesn't grow up as an outsider who has to hide his powers. Even as a child, Metroman was out here flying around classrooms, showing off super strength and using laser vision to impress his classmates. And that early attention shaped the role he grew into. By the time he became an adult, Metro City had already turned him into its perfect protector. Like Superman, Metroman has the cape, the bright costume, the giant M plastered on his chest, and the standard heroic poses. But in this case, Metroman goes beyond superhero status, with statues and billboards dedicated to him. The entire population basically worships him, handing him their babies and even kissing his feet. Credit where credit's due though, Metroman isn't just all bark and no bite. He's genuinely powerful. Which is why Megamind defeating him feels so impossible at first. On paper, he should be the one person no villain can beat. But that is where Dreamworks goes into big brain mode with the Superman archetype. The studio uses Metroman's superpowers to pull off a unique writing twist in his character. And the best example of that comes from his super speed.
Once your death ray hit, I've never felt so alive.
Honestly, faking your death during your own murder attempt is a whole different kind of achievement. For most of the movie, we think Megamind finally defeated Metroman through extreme planning and one very powerful death ray. We even see Metroman's supposed skeleton, which feels like pretty solid evidence, but it turns out Metroman faked the entire thing, and this twist completely changes how we understand him.
I began to realize, despite all my powers, each and every citizen of Metro had something I didn't. A choice.
He's just so selfish.
This right here is the core of Metroman, not as a superhero, but as a person. When Megamind tried to kill him for the millionth time, Metroman used his super speed to basically stop time. Inside that single moment, he had enough time to walk around the city, think about his entire life, read self-help books, and realize he didn't want to be a superhero anymore. Most heroes use super speed for something grand, like saving civilians or stopping disasters. And to be fair, Metroman has done plenty of that already. But in this case, he uses his powers to speedrun a midlife crisis and peace out from heroing. The writers made Metroman so powerful that nothing could realistically defeat him, so they gave him the one enemy he couldn't punch away: boredom. This man's greatest weakness wasn't kryptonite, but the realization that his entire life felt like a job he never applied for. And that's what separates Metroman from the traditional Superman figure. Superman also has incredible powers, but he still has a life outside the cape. Metroman, though, never gets any of that. From the moment he lands on Earth, everyone knows what he can do. He never had a quiet childhood, or even the chance to figure himself out without the world watching. And to be fair, that one feels like his parents' fault. I mean, the second your alien baby starts flying around the room, maybe don't immediately let him become the local celebrity toddler. On the surface, being constantly praised for your abilities sounds like the perfect life. But underneath all that admiration, Metroman is just as alienated as Megamind, only in a completely different way. Everyone assumes Megamind is inherently a villain. At the same time, everyone assumes Metroman is inherently a hero. And while those are very different problems, both characters are trapped by identities chosen for them. In Metroman's case, almost nobody seems interested in who he is outside of his achievements. So even though faking his own death seems selfish, it's actually the first time Metroman chooses something for himself. Plus, he still chose the least destructive way to quit the hero life. He could have turned against the city or become a tyrant because he was tired of being everyone's perfect protector. Instead, he just leaves to find what he really wants to do.
Check this out.
Let's go.
I have eyes that can see right through lead.
Oh my God.
It's crazy to think this man left superheroism just to suck at music. But that's also the whole point. Metroman is naturally amazing at everything hero-related. When it comes to music, though, he clearly struggles and needs practice just like everyone else. That's probably why he likes it so much. After a lifetime of being perfect at the thing everyone else wanted him to do, Metroman finally gets to be bad at something he chose for himself. Dreamworks, therefore, understands that being a hero would be both exciting and exhausting. So by focusing on the superhero burnout, the studio creates a character who is so much more than just a Superman parody. Metroman, however, isn't the only Superman clone in Megamind.
I'm gonna be a hero! I'm gonna be a hero!
When Metroman disappears, the film gives us another clone through Hal Stewart. At first, Hal just seems like a nerdy, awkward guy with a creepy crush on Roxanne. But after Megamind gives him Metroman's powers, Hal becomes Titan and gets the same basic superhero package as Metroman. On paper, he should become Metro City's new protector. I mean, that's literally why Megamind gives him those powers in the first place. Without Metroman, Megamind loses the hero-villain balance that gave his life meaning, so he tries to create a replacement. Unfortunately, he chooses the worst possible man for the job.
Being a hero is for losers. It's work, 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 24/7, and for what?
I agree, buddy. I agree.
See, that's the biggest difference between Metroman and Titan. The former no longer wants to be a superhero, but he never becomes cruel. He just leaves. And that's because inherently, Metroman is still a good person. Titan, on the other hand, gets the same kind of abilities and immediately proves why some people don't deserve power. Because the warning signs were already there before he ever became a superhero.
And I'd be watching you like a dingo watches a human baby.
From the start, Hal is obsessive and constantly trying to force his way into Roxanne's life. But underneath all that awkwardness is a man who is clearly deluded.
How?
Yeah, isn't this great? Now there's nothing keeping us apart.
This guy thinks that superpowers are a replacement for consent. He flies Roxanne around the city, nearly killing her in the process. Yet somehow, he still assumes she'll want him because he's powerful, never once considering that she simply doesn't like him. But entitlement isn't his only issue. Throughout his time with the powers, Hal never shows any real interest in helping people. He only wants the hero title because he thinks it'll finally give him the life and romance he believes he deserves. So when he gets Superman-level powers, his worst traits only amplify. His insecurity comes out as aggression, especially when it comes to Roxanne. And when she rejects him, he definitely doesn't take it well.
This
Just take a
isn't
deep
right.
breath and listen
You're
to me for a
supposed to
moment.
be with me.
I'm trying to warn you.
This moment proves that Titan never sees Roxanne as a person with her own choices. He sees her as the reward he deserves after becoming powerful. And when his delusions fall apart, he doesn't even pretend to be heroic anymore.
Titan has freed us!
Oh, I wouldn't say free. More like under new management.
Even when the citizens revere him, Titan feels no temptation to become a real hero. He finally has the attention and power he always wanted, yet his first instinct is domination. So instead of becoming Metro City's new protector, he becomes its biggest threat. That's what makes Titan such a strong contrast to Metroman. While Metroman is Superman with burnout, Titan is Superman with entitlement. Dreamworks, however, gives us another twist in the story with the least likely hero.
You dare challenge Megamind?
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
After giving us one Superman clone who quits and another who turns evil, the movie reveals that the real hero was the person who looked nothing like Superman. He's introduced as the villain and doesn't have any special abilities like super strength, flight, or laser vision. His only real powers are his brain, his gadgets, and the ability to make dramatic entrances. Most importantly though, the public hates him. In fact, for most of the movie, Metro City sees Megamind as the threat Metroman is supposed to stop. But by the end, Megamind becomes the unlikely hero when neither of the obvious Superman figures can step up. The most interesting part is that his story has always had pieces of Superman in it. Like Metroman, Megamind is an alien child sent away from a dying planet who arrives on Earth with the potential to become something extraordinary. The difference is that, unlike Metroman, Megamind lands in prison and gets raised by inmates who teach him everything bad. So naturally, he devotes his life to villainy because that's the role he's been given from the start. This only makes his later twist even more special. To say that Megamind isn't a natural hero would be an understatement. In fact, the entire Titan situation is actually his fault. He creates the new Superman clone because he misses having a hero to fight, but that decision backfires terribly. So to fix his mistake, Megamind has to lock in. The so-called villain has to become the hero because the so-called hero was never heroic to begin with. Now, Megamind could have easily left Titan to terrorize the citizens who never saw him as anything other than a bad guy. Instead, he chose to be responsible for his actions and to help save the city that gave him nothing but misery. In a way, he becomes the film's spiritual Superman clone. He carries the deeper idea behind Superman, a powerful outsider who chooses to protect a world that never truly accepted him before. So, Metroman and Titan are the more obvious Superman clones, but when it matters most, Megamind is the one who embodies true heroism, thus proving that Dreamworks really knows how to create interesting Superman clones.